Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Farming Simulator 2015 with me, Mish9399. We're up to episode 6 now, guys, and we're doing quite nicely, actually. Like I said from last episode, we have basically finished off the rest of the harvest of the canola. This episode we're going to go through and start the seeding process of our 3 fields that we have, which is field 24, 29 and 30, which one side, there we go. So first things first was get this guy started, and basically this episode is going to be a fairly short one. I'm basically just, pardon me guys, basically we're just going to quickly, I got the hiccups for something I'm using. Anywho, we shall continue. Basically this episode, guys, we're just going to seed as much as we can on screen and basically sell off the canola that we have in as many full loads as what we can, which I haven't actually checked on how much we have. Canola. Okay, so I think out of those 3 fields, I don't think that we got quite as much barley as we did canola. Now, I'm just trying to remember as to whether we done 1 lot of barley on the 3 fields or whether we done 2 lots or not. I can't quite remember, but I'll have to look into it as to what the story is. Now the transport company looks like it's the best of the lot. So let me just refresh my memory. Transport company is right at the top. Okay. So guys, it's been a few days since I've been able to make a video, and it's actually been a few days since I actually released a video. Unfortunately, I feel a little bit guilt and didn't quite get the time to record a video, and I hadn't been able to get a video uploaded onto YouTube, which is a little bit disappointing on my behalf, because obviously I was doing myself pretty well in terms of getting videos out there for you guys to see, but I fell short for a little while I was a little bit sick. So hopefully now that I'm kinda over it, we can get back to business and get back into obviously farming and making some money. So we're going to head on down to the transport company very, very slowly by the looks of it. We're only really going to have the 1 load, so depending on how much money we might get off this, we're either going to get ourselves another tractor if we can afford it, which was, I'm fairly sure, the Dude's Far. If not, we're going to purchase the other field, which is field 25, which is in that little group of 4. It should be pretty darn good. Looks like my trailer's lost control, and we've spun out of control. Obviously a large trailer that's quite heavy and trying to steer at a higher speed is not something we can do very well. But moving on, we'll keep pushing forward. And keep going. Now, one thing I was wondering while I was harvesting and cultivating the rest of those fields, guys, was this light down here, which I seen through the trees in the forest, but I couldn't make out what it was. I thought it may have been a UFO or something, but it turns out it's actually a lighthouse. So that's obviously good news that we're not getting invaded by aliens or anything. So yeah. So guys, today I've basically uploaded episode number 5 of Farming Simulator 2015 and also episode 6 of Farming Simulator 2013. Both episodes we actually managed to do ourselves quite a good little return in terms of money, so to speak. We both went over the 6-figure mark for the first time, which is fantastic. I think we got about 440 odd thousand in Farming Simulator 2013 with quite a few harvests of canola which I've done off screen, so feel free to check those episodes out. And if you enjoy them, don't forget to hit those like buttons and subscribe, and vice versa with this season. So that little return itself brought us up to $205,000, which, if my memory serves me well, I don't think is going to be quite enough to get ourselves that tractor. So once we get back up to the farm, we'll have a look into that. I mean, worst comes to worst, we've still got plenty of money to buy that other field, and we may even have enough money to turn around and buy a 5th field, or 6th if I'm being technical, because we do own another field down a little lower, which is field 38, right down the bottom there near the grain elevator, which is kind of still close to where we actually are, and we could probably, work that field, but for the size that that field actually is and the time and effort we're going to have to use to get down there, at this point in time I think it's best just to work the fields that we're close to get more return. That way, once we get sort of more into the game, we can turn around and basically have field 38. We could even use that for our first field for the biogas plant with corn, and turning that into chaff, and then obviously siloing it and blanketing it and waiting for it to ferment, I think is the word. But yeah, we'll leave him where he is, because I don't think we can actually sell fields, because ideally what we'd like to do is get field 41 and basically have it as the main source of income through that area in the biogas plant, and then maybe even field 36 and 37 as well, get them going with it. But at this point in time, obviously we're just working the fields that we currently own, trying to get the most out of them, so obviously we can upgrade our equipment and turn around and hopefully get pretty much straight into the biogas plant. That way we can get into logging a lot quicker, because obviously logging's a new thing in the game. I think there was a couple of mods and things in Farming Simulator 2013, but nothing actually set in stone. I never really gave the logging or any of the major mods that sort of changed the whole game up too much of a crack, mainly because of different mods and things I've tried in other games that I used to play. When you go stuffing around with that sort of stuff, I had I probably wouldn't say bad experiences with it, but it kind of ruined the game a little bit and how it was actually played. So I just preferred, pardon me, hiccups still. So basically I just preferred to turn around and just play the game how it's meant to be played, and you know, little mods that obviously I had seen that actually work. Similar in my 2013 series that I played before I started to actually record and put videos out. There was a front loader mod that I actually used with a 25,000 litre bucket instead of a standard 10,000 litre bucket, which made things a hell of a lot easier to do in game. Obviously standing there going backwards and forwards after you've done a massive load of the biogas stuff, and you got so much stock there that it sort of takes up quite a little bit of time. That obviously was a big help in terms of speeding the process up. But yeah, little things like that that you've actually seen other people use, and you know that they're you know a good mod, so to speak. You know, if I get the words off people that you know they vouch for the mod and that sort of thing, I'll definitely give it a go. Obviously with Farming Simulator 2015 not really just arriving, it's been out for a little while now, but relatively new. We're going to be seeing quite a few mods come through over the next few weeks and few months, which is obviously a good thing. I would like to try out some of them depending on obviously what comes out. But yeah, we'll sort of get to that once we get there. Yeah, sort of go from there. But that's what I was going to do. Let's have a little look at the tractors. Now obviously we've got a couple of these tractors, which is the Hillerman, I think that's how you pronounce it, and obviously we've got a Dootsfar at the moment, which is the AgroStar 6.61. They're not a bad tractor. They've got a little bit more guts than what this guy does, but ideally the tractors that we're going to start upgrading into, I think is going to be these guys, because they have enough power behind them to basically pull our larger seeders and larger cultivators, so that way later on when we obviously get up into those bigger equipment, we don't have to upgrade our tractors yet again. So basically that's what I'm going to basically try and upgrade into. I'm probably saying basically quite a few times, but you know, that's something that I would prefer to do, save us upgrading to say the same, so to speak, because that's going to do a lot of the next step up. Margins a lot easier and a lot more, you know, beneficial than what our current tractors are doing. But you know, for an extra, what is it, 70 grand or 80 grand, we can get ourselves into this guy that obviously does the job a hell of a lot easier, because you go from 190 up to 263 horsepower. So you know, that sort of thing's obviously what I'm looking at, guys, in terms of where to upgrade and what to upgrade next. Because ideally the next thing I'd like to upgrade would be our sowing machines. But into saying that, the next step up, we're going to need 180 horsepower tractor, which currently we don't have, and obviously, you know, we're going to need it. But you know, we'll get to that when we sort of get there, I suppose. Now that's potato. This is what we need here for corn. So we can get ourselves one of these if we want to do the corn down with the biogas plant and that sort of thing. We can afford that, and that's a 6 meter working width, which is, you know, a decent amount. And our tractors should be able to pull that. Now, one thing that I'd like to look at as well, obviously the harvesters. Now, these guys that we've got at the moment, that's going to do corn, but it's not going to do the corn type that we want. What we want is this guy here that turns the corn into chaff. Basically, the difference between chaff and corn itself, corn still, you know, we still get a massive amount return, whereas chaff, I'm fairly sure, is basically the plant itself is still the same, how it grows, obviously, because it's still corn. And then when it's in the terms of cutting it, basically, I think the Big X 1100 will basically cut the whole lot and actually sort of shred it. Whereas with your standard combines, you've still got corn there that you can see, but that just, you know, takes off obviously the corn. So money-wise itself, selling the corn on its own, we're still going to get a good return off it, but nowhere near as much as what we would with the actual chaff. Now, reason because of that is we can sell at the biogas plant for a profit. It's going to take obviously a lot more work because we can't, because obviously, sorry, these guys have a captivity that they can actually hold the stuff for, whereas these guys, we can't. So that obviously makes it hard, so we have to follow around with a trailer all the time, or hook one up to the back and do it manually. But at the end of the day, we're going to get a hell of a lot more money back from it. So that's definitely what I want to touch on as well, and get into in terms of our bigger money making areas. And obviously the logging equipment, depending on, you know, how much money we get back off that sort of stuff, sort of depends on whether or not we get into it fully, so to speak. But let's have a look at these guys as well. So obviously that's your Case IH headers. So we've got a 10.5 meter, and we've also got a 13.7 meter, which is quite large as well. The New Holland's the same story. So this is obviously the cutters for corn. So we've got this guy here that's suitable for that particular harvester. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce that, and I'm not even going to attempt it. But we got New Holland as well, at a 4.5 meter, so slightly larger. And then obviously up with the Case IHs and the bigger New Holland harvesters, we got a 9 meters working width, and back up to a 12 meter in the Capello. I think that's how you pronounce that one. And then we get into the Krone Big X Forager 1100, which is a 10.5 meter working width, and it also allows us to do these guys as well. So that obviously is a mower. Okay, so that's a actual header that we can attach to it. So that's not sure whether we had that option in the other ones, and I'm not sure how well that would work. But either way, as for harvesters, guys, I want to start getting into, or once we have the money, obviously, I'd like to get into the Case IH stuff as our main sort of harvesters. But in saying that, I'm sort of showcasing them off, well, not at the moment, but I will be in my other Let's Play. So I may showcase the New Holland stuff in terms of harvesters, rethinking that. so that way, you know, I'm showing something a little bit different. Obviously the biogas stuff with the Big X 1100 is the same with the other season, but obviously we're in Farming Simulator 2015 and we don't really have anything else that allows us to, you know, use it. But before we sort of start getting into the biogas stuff, I'd really like to invest in one of these guys, which is a substantial amount of money compared to what the truck is in Farming Simulator 2013. But you know, I suppose that's just all in the game. So guys, this has probably been a shorter episode, and we've basically just touched base on what I'm thinking of doing over the next few episodes and what I'd like to get into. So to end the episode off, we're going to head up to this top field. I am going to purchase this field, and then I'm going to end the episode here. And basically off screen what I'm going to do is once we obviously purchase this field for 40 grand, fantastic. So we now own this field, so this is our 5th field in total, which is, you know, awesome news. We're moving along. But yeah, basically I'm going to end the episode here, guys. That way rendering times are going to be a lot quicker, because as you guys know, rendering times for me are pretty sucky at the moment. I'm unsure as to why, because you know, when I'm actually streaming and watching videos and that sort of thing, actually downloading other things like music and, you know, renting movies and things offline and that sort of stuff, or online I should say, it really doesn't take that long to, you know, download and start playing and that sort of stuff. I know uploading is obviously a totally different kettle of fish, and I'm unsure as to why, but I did notice with my last video uploaded, which was Farming Simulator 2013, it actually uploaded quite quickly because it was a shorter video. So I know a lot of these videos that I'm putting out at the moment have been putting out quite longer episodes. So I'm going to try and sort of cut it down and do a slightly more off screen, but basically start it off on screen like I have today. So obviously I'm not going to seed all these fields today on screen, because that'll just take, you know, forever. So I'll finish these off screen. You guys know what I've done. I'm not going to do millions of different harvests and that sort of thing. I'm going to show it all on screen, so I don't want to skip out too much, so to speak. But yeah, I've been rambling on for a little while now, guys. So we've done ourselves a pretty decent harvest again. You know, we got over the $200,000 mark, which was fantastic. We've purchased ourselves another field. Hopefully next episode, once I've seeded and I've grown everything up, so it's ready to harvest, and we sell it all off, fingers crossed we'll be able to get ourselves another tractor. If not, I'll basically keep working at it. So guys, I've been Mish9399. I really hope you've been enjoying the episode. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more. It shows me that you guys care. It also, you know, shows your support and all the rest of it. So guys, again, I've been Mish9399. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.